From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's the biggest week that it was, and the news continues to the board tonight as the U.S. economy plunges into recession. All the latest details you need to know across the board tonight. It's not like anything we had projected and not like anything we had hoped. But here we go, a U.S. economy in recession as the earning data comes in and continues to miss. What's going on? All the biggest details tonight across the board. Number one, the latest details on the housing market continues to soften. Number two, the benefits are going up a lot. We'll have the latest details in tonight's recording. Number three, the unemployment claims surged out of control. I said that was going to happen. Did it hit the 260 I projected? All the latest details tonight? The answer is yes. Number four, the recession is upon us. I projected we'd go into recession last February. I projected the announcement would come this Thursday. It came. Number five, the latest details on those earnings continue to miss, and the more earnings are coming after the bell tonight. It's a night like any other, but not particularly, because this economy is falling apart very quickly. That, my friends, is why you have to get a four-symbol check in every U.S. state. Viewers are cleaning up with these checks. You're going to meet one viewer in this recording who has gotten 80-plus checks. You heard me right. 80-plus checks in the last 7 days. This is a regular occurrence for viewers on this channel. Go on to this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. And in the big second half of this recording, we're going to go over all these incredible checks. Nowhere else you're going to see these four-symbol checks anywhere in this magnitude except here on LALATE, America's most watched show for financial news in prime time. It's evenings. Tonight we have a major series of breaking news. First, the U.S. economy is in recession. Number two, unemployment claims to surge to the highest levels of 2022. Number three, inflation has not peaked. Federal Reserve raises interest rates 75 basis points. Number four, the earnings recessions continue to grow left and right, but some companies are giving good news left here and there as well. Number five, the projections of where this economy is going are going to give us big guidance tomorrow when we have that PCEI release before sunrise. Oh, it's a big night. And in the second half of the video, we're going to go over the raising of your benefits that will be potentially about $5,000. It's a reality. It's happening. We'll be going over those big checks in every U.S. state, about $100,000. And we'll be going over every single pot of money you need to get. It's all here on LALATE. Go out of this video, become a member, and stay the big second half as America's most watched show in prime time for financial news starts right here, right now, as Evenings LA for July 28th, 2022 gets underway. And good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful night. It is the biggest week that there was, and it continues across the board. It started with the announcement of a recession this morning, and then continued with the latest details on those unemployment numbers surging exactly where I said they would go. Higher. How higher? Exactly where I said they were going to land. Then we're going to go over the raising of your benefits, huge sums of money. We're going to look at that tonight. The housing starts that continue to slump. The housing market not particularly good. And then we'll be looking, of course, at those earnings. Those earnings are the biggest indication of what's going on with this recession, the inflation, and more. We're going to look at more earnings that will be coming into the bell, after the time this broadcast is recorded, but before it airs. Good evening from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Tonight, it's a big night, and the news starts right now. For July 28th, 2022, this is the day in which the U.S. economy was announced in recession. The U.S. Department of Labor this morning announced that the second quarter of this economy this year posted negative GDP growth, gross national product. That, by definition, defines as a recession. It should not come as a surprise to viewership of this channel, because in February of this year, I was the only financial broadcaster recording the U.S. economy will go into recession, and that recession will be 2 years. At the time of February, no one was reporting this. The first U.S. bank to announce it was in April, when Deutsche Bank made that major announcement across the board. But the announcement tonight is not a surprise to Americans across the board. What is a surprise is the reaction to the news. Let's go over everything you need to know, starting right now. This recessionary environment manifests itself with 2 negative quarters of GDP growth announced by Department of Labor this morning. But the recession was confirmed no less than 2 weeks earlier when the Atlanta Fed GDP announced that the 2 negative quarters had posted. They are a live tracking tool, and they announced it on July 1 when the second quarters ended. We had to wait 2 weeks until the announcement came tonight from the U.S. Department of Labor. And with that announcement, what happened thereafter? First, we learned this last week that the broadcast analysts that were saying that the GDP number coming from labor today would be a positive number never had any support for their allegations. I said at the time, hogwash. It's not going to be a positive number. It's going to be a negative number. Not going to happen. And they were shown to have egg on their face today. It was a negative number. Number two, we quickly saw that recession as a word, which only has one definition, became deeply polarized tonight, with Republicans trying to say it's actually worse than it is, and Democrats actually trying to say it's not a recession. Janet Yellen, the President of the United States, both spoke about the subject matter today. Janet Yellen did a better approach to the situation. She, of course, is your Treasury Secretary, by basically saying the definition is not so important. Let's talk about the details. It was a great way to deal with the specifics of what's going on in the economy. The President of the United States simply went out and said there was no recession. Not true across the board. Here's what you need to know across the board is that recession is manifesting itself in corporate earnings. And that is what directly impacts you, because those earnings impact your wallet, because ultimately those employers will lay people off. Let's look at those earnings recession and the latest details tonight and what could be happening after the close later in this evening. I'll have more about those details in the live chat when the show airs. We have already had misses on top, which is revenue, bottom, for corporate earnings second quarter this year from major corporations, but generally in the same swaths of the economy. We have had it from Twitter, Snap, social media. We've had it from technology, Alphabet, the parent company of Google, and also from Microsoft. We've also had it in food like Chipotle, but we've not had it in other industries. The latest details tonight are fascinating across the board. Let's look at them. So minutes ago, late last night, we had the earnings coming in from Facebook, now Meta, and they missed on top, they missed on bottom. We also had Ford release, and they beat on top and bottom. Auto did relatively well in the second quarter. They did not miss. Also doing well in the second quarter, travel and leisure, hospitality, and pharmaceutical. Not doing well was some of the home improvement items. And let's go over the details right tonight. Let's get a swath of that, and it's exactly what we think it would be. Do you think Hilton was a beat? Well, it's travel and leisure. It was a beat. Do you think Southwest Airlines was a beat? It's travel and leisure. It was a beat. What about Royal Caribbean? Exactly a beat, just like you think. What about the credit card companies with the credit debt higher than ever expected, those interest rates through the roof? Do you think those were beat? They were beats. So you can sort of predict this if you understand where this economy is going. If you think that Black & Decker, the home tool and home improvement business, is a beat or a miss, well, if you chose miss, it's correct, because they fell, now around 12% in trading most of today, as they missed dramatically. Later tonight, we're going to have more corporate earnings, and I'll have them in the live chat when the show airs, but this is what I'm projecting for you across the board based upon this. Same genres, same swaths of industries doing well in this economy, and some not doing well. We have Apple and Amazon reporting after the close. I expect them to not do well. Comcast on the money. Pfizer, is going to do well, based upon what we've seen. Southwest probably did well, Southwest Airlines. Harley Davidson probably did well. PG&E, which is healthcare, is probably going to do well as across the board. This is what's going on with this economy, and this, my friends, is why you have to get a fourth stimulus check, which is in every U.S. state. You can't wait to get these big sums of money. And the second half of this video, we're going to go over these incredible sums of money. You get them. How do you get them? You go under this video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Get these incredible checks in the big second half. We're going to go over all these incredible checks done by executive action from both Biden earlier this year, and you deserve these sums of money. You deserve these big sums of money. We're going to go over these sums of money later in this recording. But let's jump back into the other breaking news across the board in the biggest week that there was. What were we also expecting today? we were expecting the unemployment numbers. And what happened and what did we project on this front? Unemployment in the month of March was about 160,000 new jobless claims. This is new people unemployed per week. It shot up to 180 about 4 weeks ago. Then it quickly moved very high to 230 as I projected in less than 3 weeks. Then it was 251 last week. I projected today's number would be 260. Did I get it right? Am I 3 for 3 tonight? I got that one right as well. What happened? Department of Labor looked at last week's number, 251,000 new jobless claims, and they readjusted it to 261. There we go. That's the number I projected. And then this week, they sort of pulled back a little bit to down about 5,000. So here we go. Recession upon us, inflation higher, unemployment growing. And what about your benefits? What about housing? Let's look at the latest details on that across the board tonight, and let's start, of course, with what happened with Jay Powell yesterday. The Federal Reserve, I projected he was going to do a 75 basis point increase. He did that as well. That 75 basis point increase is to battle inflation, and it's not going to work. But ultimately, the question mark is, what does that do for your benefits? It doesn't inherently affect your benefits if you don't believe that Jay Powell's raising of interest rates works. Your benefits are going up a lot. How much? About $5,000 more per year. It's the best news you could ever want. You want to have a pear dance on this one alone. We're going to go over the calculation of the raise of your benefits. This is you in just a second. But first, we need to understand why they're going up. They're going up because of inflation. And when do we learn more about inflation? This week, tomorrow, on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m., or at least at home on 11 a.m. Because guess what? The PCEI is released Friday morning, and that number is the first number we have since the May read and the June read of CPI. That June read came in last Wednesday. It was 9.1%, the highest read since 1980s, and that was a major jump from the month of May at 8.6%, higher than Wall Street expected at 8.8%. Major lift for your benefits across the board. So that's big. Tomorrow, Friday, the PCEI. Did I say that wrong? PCEI. No, I said it right. But it's just too many vowels. Vanna can have another vowel on that one. The personal income expenditure is released on Friday, and that's a very helpful number because it's generally around the money for inflation. It comes between the CPIs, which are once a month. We just got the June number 2 weeks ago, so this is in between it. And that'll give us an indication if inflation's gone higher or if it's now peaked. There's no indication at the time of recording tonight that inflation has yet peaked. Jay Powell, the Federal Reserve, yesterday raised interest rates 75 basis points, exactly what projected. But the big question mark is what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Some of the things we know. We're going to have inflation down on Friday. Then we're going to have the next CPI for July, the PPI for July, the retail sales for July. And guess what? That comes out in early August, and the Federal Reserve doesn't meet in August. Then we go into September, and we get that data one more time, and then the Federal Reserve comes back. And what are they going to do then? My projections tonight so far is 75 basis point again. Wall Street doesn't have it as aggressively. They think they're going to do 50. I'm not buying it. I think they're going to go in more aggressively. Now, the news for you is that this huge inflation has not yet peaked. There's no indication that it has peaked. There's no indication it's coming down anywhere. We're going to go more about gasoline and the price of consumer goods later in this recording. Jump in the live chat if you've seen that the price of products across the board have dropped dramatically. I've only seen milk drop a little bit. Other than that, I haven't seen much across the board. That's why you have to become a member and join this channel. So your benefits are going up a lot, and let's go over generally how this works, and then we'll go over the specifics. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. How much? About $5,000. We'll go over the calculation in just a second. This raise of your benefits is the biggest of a generation. You're going to be absolutely ecstatic. What's at issue? 3 months of benefits. It steps back to what happened 2 weeks ago when that CPI beat on a Wednesday. The Thursday, the PPI was higher, and then that Friday, the retail sales was higher. And as these numbers continue to go higher, then it's good indication to you your benefits are going higher. How high are these numbers? They're out of control. There's no indication they're better tonight, and that this data is yet 2 weeks ago. That CPI release on July 13th was 9.1%, the highest since 1981. The May read, the release the month before, was 8.6%. Wall Street was looking for 8.8. It came in at 9.1. Then when we look to the next day, July 14th, we had the producer price index, which gauges how much the wholesalers are paying. And that was the second highest number reported at 11.3%, near the record posted in the month of March at 11.6%. Then that Friday, the July 15th retail sales numbers showed that it went up 1% just month to month because that product you're buying in the store has gone up more in price. Those inflationary numbers all mean that inflation is still going up, has not peaked. And the latest details tonight is that analysts are no longer believing Jay Powell in many regards. First, they're not believing him when he says he's getting inflation down to 2%. You haven't even moved it down one microcosm across the board. They don't believe Jay Powell when he says that inflation would be temporary. Well, it wasn't. They don't believe Jay Powell when he says that he's going to make sure that he's focused on his dual mandate of price stability and maximum employment. That's the big story tonight. The Federal Reserve has two mandates. To first, make sure there's maximum employment, which means reduce unemployment, and price stability, which means remove inflation. Tonight, whether it's Janet Yellen, who confirms this in her comments today, whether it's Jay Powell himself or it's me, we all say the same thing. The Federal Reserve's aggressiveness on the interest rate spikes is going to soften, another way to call it hurt, the labor market before it hurts inflation. And that is what is going to be happening. Even Jay Powell admits that to you across the board. This, my friends, is why you have to stay the second half of this video and get these huge $100,000 of checks across the board. Let's go back into your benefits now that we understand what's going on with this inflation and understand how it impacts your benefits. Let's do the calculation starting right now. This is you. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, what months are we looking at? Those. July, August, and September. Which numbers? Let's go over the numbers and go over how it calculates starting right now. Your benefits are tied to a very simple benchmark called COLA, C-O-L-A, cost of living adjustment. It's in turn determined by another number. It's called the CPI-W. Yes, it's a subsection of the CPI, which we just went over. But COLA is only determined by 3 months of that CPI-W. They are this month, July, August, and September. Only 3 months per year determine the COLA for the entire year. So we need to see the following. We need to see that inflation is where it is right now and does not drop dramatically, stays where it is, or goes a little bit higher. And we need to see that in the data that's released for the month of July next month, released in the month of August and September, and released for the month of September in October. And there you go. Now let's go to your benefits. How much are they going up? First, you. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits. First, let me answer a great question. I forgot I saw this question. It was a brilliant question. A viewer said, what if I'm about to go on benefits? Does this help me? Absolutely. What if I'm already on benefits? Absolutely. It's the same thing for everyone. So it's because your benefits are determined based upon a calculation. So the calculation is absolutely for everyone. Great question. Number 2, is it for all of you? Yes. All beneficiaries. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits. Number 3, does everyone get $5,000? No. Some of you will get more than $5,000. Some of you will get less than $5,000. Some of you will get around the money. Number 5, is the same percentage increase? Absolutely. So when do we definitively see this? I had that great question last night. I think it was from Lynn Glenn or Diane. It was a great question. When do we definitively see it? You know, my opinion, you could certainly say you have to wait to see the last month of 3 months of data. But I really do believe if you're sort of halfway through those 3 months, at the fifth, month and a half, 1.5 months, I think you really get a real good sense of where it's going to come in. More importantly, in my opinion, I think that if you look at the first months of data, you may have a very good sense of where these 3 months will be. So we could have a very good sense of this number as soon as the month of July's data is done. So when will we see the month of July's data done? We don't have to necessarily wait for the CPI. We could see other elements across the board to determine inflation. And there you go. That, my friends, is why you want to get a 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state. These 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state, you're not going to really see much anywhere else, except here, because I care. I found them for you. It's part of a search and find effort. It's sort of an educational effort. It's a delivery and response situation. The numbering system, the naming system are unique to this channel. No one's out there saying 4 stimulus. I give it a name-ring system so we keep track of this was this and that was that. And you're going to need it in view of the latest recession now upon this economy. How do you get these 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state? Well, we're going to go over each of these incredible checks in the second half, but let's go over a preview of what's at issue. These incredible 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state are absolutely wonderful. And how do they work? What's at issue? What do you need to know? Let's go over all those details starting right now. Past the month of March, there are approximately $100,000, a series of different checks done by the President of the United States by executive action. You qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you're not on benefits, if you are on benefits, go get them. I specifically show you how to get every single check in the second half of this video. I specifically deliver a membership newsletter to you that shows you how to get these checks. I specifically go through the membership newsletter with you in the second half. That's why you got to stay to the second half of this recording as we go over all these incredible details across the board. These big checks are there for you. They're federal stimulus done by the President of the United States. How do you start it? You go under this video and start by joining this channel. Becoming a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Then going under this video and subscribing and stay in the second half as we go over these huge sums of money. You deserve these sums of money, approximately $100,000. Done by executive action. The money's been there since the month of March. And the second half of this video, you're going to see the success stories. But right now, I'm going to introduce you to one viewer who got 80 plus checks. You heard me right. I stumbled over that. 80 plus checks. It's nearly 100 checks from these 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. It's just one person and her success story, but she's not alone because this has been a routine coverage on this channel for many, many months, and we're going to go over all these incredible success stories and how you could be the next success story in the big second half. But first, let me jump into something that I'm watching for later today. I'll be jumping in the live chat by the time this show airs to go over any other corporate misses on that earnings front. I'll go over anything else that I'm seeing on the recessionary front and anything else we're seeing on the labor front as it comes on in. But let me jump into one of the greatest parts of the membership on this channel, which is the big worksheets. Those worksheets are very helpful on a day like this, where there is so much breaking news. You can feel how can you sense how I'm trying to make sure I cover it all tonight? It's a big night. It's a lot going on. And I know that I just skipped 2 things. I got to go back to the later in this video. There's a lot going on tonight. And that's why you need to become a member for especially these worksheets. They're in the membership newsletter down by the 3rd line, right under the price of gasoline, wheat, and corn tonight. And it's a PDF. It's about 8 pages in length. Has the opportunity for you to take notes on it, or you can download on your phone or your computer and look at it and take notes, separate piece of paper. First page. What do we know tonight about inflation? Tonight we know about inflation that tomorrow we get the best read, the best information about inflation in now 2 weeks. The last time we got information was really right on point with that CPI, PPI, and the retail sales 2 weeks ago. So tomorrow, the PCEI. It's a very big inflationary number, and we'll see what it comes in at. But so far, inflation has not peaked. It has not peaked as it's spurred higher starting in the month of July and December last year, as I projected it would. Recession. What do we know about recession? We're in it. We are now in a recession. A defined recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. That's 6 months consecutively. We're now in it tonight. We also know the Republicans are politicizing the word, and Democrats are as well. Ultimately, we also know that we're not naive about a recession. There's some parts of the economy that don't feel the hurt of recession, some parts that do. We are seeing the corporate earnings. Number 3, the labor. Got it right. I got the inflation right. I said it was going to be prolonged at 8%. I got the recession right. I said we're going to recession. And I got the labor right. I said 260,000 jobless claims last week, all this last week coming into today. And it did shoot to 261, but it was not today. It was readjusted from last week higher. And the Federal Reserve got that right. I guess that's 4 for 4. I said 75 basis point increase. That's what they did. What am I projecting for September? If it continues on the track record, I'm saying another 75. Here comes the incredible success story. One viewer getting over 80 stimulus checks as a member of this channel. She's not alone because it's a regular story on this channel. And I'm going to go over her success stories with the second page of the worksheet right now. The second page is this incredible table. What are these worksheets? These are created by LALATE for you. This is why this is the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, expanding to number 2. And in the second page, you keep track of what checks you applied for, when you applied for, the periods of payments, the amount, and your contact information. She did. The only problem is she didn't look at it. She forgot to look at it. And last Thursday, not today, but a week ago today, she got that email. She got an email that said, ma'am, you've been approved for check B. Now, the approval was not one check. No, she got approved for her mortgage assistance for 18 months. Now, hold on. 18 months, folks, a mortgage, that is not $10,000. That is tens of thousands of dollars because she became a member of this channel. She never even known about Check B if she had not been a viewer of this channel. She did not get one check for Check B, and she did not just get her mortgage paid. Yep, in addition to her mortgage, this wonderful viewer member also got all her utility bills paid, and not just one time, for 18 months. So she got all her utility bills, let's say they're 4 approximately, and her mortgage, let's say that's 5, that totals up to 5, for 18 months, 5 times 18, yep, 5 times 18 checks. Folks, that's close to 100 checks she's getting because she became a member of LLA. It's not an unusual story. It happens on a regular basis because if you follow the videos, if you listen to the videos, if you make the effort, you go through the newsletter, you can have success stories as well. Spelly's another viewer. His story came in after hers more recently, less than 48 hours ago, featured last night on this channel. What did he do? He applied for Check A, the weatherizing grant. He got it. But again, he did not stop at just one check. He got Check C's for many months. Congratulations to him, congratulations to her. And if you've had a success story, send to me on private message on Facebook. I'll feature it on air and also post it in the live chat. But also send to me a private message so I don't miss it across the board. What do we know about the third page of the worksheets? The membership, the raise of your benefits. Yes, so we're really watching for this inflation for 3 months of data, but we'll get a sense of it within 15 months. So far at the moment, it's looking like your benefits are going up astronomically. Remember, once they go up, they never go down. This is the highest lift of a generation. The next 2 pages are critically important for night on Evenings LA because I said I would cover them tonight. They are gasoline and student loan debt forgiveness. First, student loan debt forgiveness. I get a sense that if the president wants to sign the student loan debt forgiveness, he's going to potentially do it in less than 7 days. Why? Because Congress is about to leave town. They're almost done with this session. They're about to leave town, and if he wants people to sign, he wants to sign this and make a big publicity opportunity, public press opportunity, he would want them around him. If he is COVID negative and he's out of quarantine, then he would do it right now. I think he's going to do it. Now, if he's going to leave it to September, it's just, then it's just looking a little too greedy for the opportunity of publicity for it. $10,000 across the board, that is what's going to happen. He previously forgave student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation. People who went to work in the nonprofit or public sector after graduation. And for people who became defrauded by the university across the board. This $10,000 will be for individuals who make $150,000 or less. Then let's go to the page before that, which is the gas prices. Gasoline. What are we looking for gasoline tonight? And the narrative is not too much different, except Janet Yellen just sort of repeated in the narrative tonight. The narrative tonight is that the White House administration was responsible for getting lower prices of gasoline in the U.S. economy. Janet Yellen, addressing the American people from the Department of Treasury, specifically said that the president's release of the strategic reserves got gasoline down. She said that was the cause. She, in fact, cited the amount of cents that the gasoline went down because of the president's policy. She said the source of the information was her agency, and that was why gasoline's down, because of the release of the strategic reserves. Do I agree? I don't agree. The oil traders all say the price of gasoline has gone down because of oil trading, because they believe that if there is a recession, they trade it down, believing the demand is not there. On the international front, the international price of Brent crude has surged higher. It's going about to 109 right tonight, approximately. So ultimately, the price of gasoline, according to the oil traders in the United States, is not going to stay down. And the tough question that Biden and Yellen keep on getting is that while you think it may be down because of you, what happens when it goes back up in a potential few weeks? Then are you the reason it went up? They don't answer the question. Of course not. Ultimately, I do believe the price of gasoline is going to go up, but you don't want it to go up before you lock in the raise of your benefits. Because remember, this is important, Purple Hawks. Your benefits are tied to COLA. Your COLA is tied to CPI-W, and it's determined by inflation. And inflation, in part, is determined by gasoline. So we got a lot of watching to do in the next 30, 45 days. So we get a sense of what's going to happen for that inflation. That'll be determining your benefits in the next 90 days or less. Huge, huge developing details. We'll have more about that later tomorrow on Mornings. But in the big second half of this video, we're going to do a lot. We're going to go over these 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You need to get these big sums of money. Go right in this video and subscribe. Become a member and join this channel. And stay the second half as we go over all these incredible checks one at a time and show you how you can be the next person who gets 80 stimulus checks from one channel as one viewer. Stay the second half as we go over all these incredible checks. Plus, I'll be looking back over the latest economic news that came today, my impressions and my reaction to other analysts' news and commentary. And I'll give you a preview of tomorrow's details and what I'm expecting is going to come in after the bell from Wall Street on corporate earnings. We'll be back in 60 seconds as the excitement continues from LALATE. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. As America's most watched show in prime time continues for financial news, it's evenings.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And it continues right now on a beautiful evening on the Evenings LA from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Hope you're having a beautiful night across the board. A U.S. recession has arrived in the U.S. economy as I projected it would back in the month of February. And at the time, viewers said, LA, can you find me some stimulus checks? They were smart because we get money on the come. We don't wait to the arrivals of a recession. But tonight it's here. And I fully expect there'll be more viewers on this channel, as they have been in the last 48 hours, with the economic situation getting more dramatically different. Become a member. Go right in this video, subscribe, join this channel. And starting right now, we're going to go over all these incredible forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Back in the month of March, those viewers were so smart. They heard me on air say in February, the month before, you're going to go into recession. You're going to go into recession. Inflation's not coming down. Unemployment's going to go higher. And here you go tonight. Recession's been announced. Unemployment's gone higher. And also inflation's not gone away. As soon as they announced me to get some checks, I did two things. First, make sure I can find you big checks because I care about you. This is going to be a long recession. It's not going to be 2 days of walk in the park. Number two, broad eligibility. So these checks are about $100,000 across the board. Number two, they are for you. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you're on benefits, if you're not on benefits, go get these incredible checks. Number three, I want to make sure it's simple for you to find these checks. And how do I do it? I do it with a membership newsletter delivered to you Monday through Friday, written by me to explain how to get these incredible checks. All put together, as one viewer, Carol, says, Alec, you make it so simple. So let's go over all these incredible checks, starting first now with the very first check. It's Check A, a lettering system created for this channel for you across the board. $6,500 to $12,000 for stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 or less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, go get it as well. How do you get it? Step 1, go under this video, become a member. Step 2, subscribe to this channel. Then get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. Go down till you find Check A. There it is. Click the link, send you into the nationwide website. Then choose your state and then apply. So simple. You bet you're not going to stop there yet. You're going to go get Check B. Check B is a wonderful $15,000 to $80,000 for stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And how do you get it? You go under this video, become a member. Then subscribe, and then go down that membership newsletter. You find Check B. Choose it, choose your state, and go get it. That wonderful viewer got 100 approximate checks for Check B. Spelly got Check A. Look at those two checks, A and B together. That's about $100,000 right there. We're just getting started. You're going to go get Check C because that's averaging about $45,000 for viewers of this channel. Many members have gotten over $150,000. $2,000 a month over 12 months, MSC, yes, go get it. How do you do this? Step 1, become a member. Then go down in the membership newsletter till you find Check C. It tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. The success stories of Check C date back to the earlier days of this channel because it's the residue of third stimulus. Do you want these numbers for Check C? Then go get them. From Nisi all the way up to Elizabeth, from 20 to 30,000, go get rent from Check C. Do it like they did. Utilities. You want these utilities? Then go get Check C's from Angela, Nancy, and Mark. What about Mark's brother-in-law? $15,000. He also is getting $250,000 over 10 years for SNAP. Combinations of checks. Nisi went from $23,000 to $50,000. Mark went from $32,000 to $166,000. He went from 32 to this graphic 50. Then for $50,000 to $100,000, then got Check B at $66,000. Lorraine, she went from $105 to $150. Go get these incredible checks across the board. These incredible checks are for you. You deserve these incredible checks. Go get them across the land. Now, something that's familiar and similar among Nisi, Lorraine, Johnny, and Margaret are all the same. First, they watch all the videos. Number 2, they keep on getting checks. Margaret has a meeting tomorrow to get some more checks. I love it. That's what you do. I don't care if it's a meeting or a telephone call or a casserole delivery. You go get some more checks. It's time. It's due for Nisi. I haven't heard from Nisi about 12 minutes. She's about to deliver me some great news. Lorraine is as well. Now, the other commonality among these viewers is they are in all the live chats. They do not miss a single video, and you really can't. And earlier at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time today for July 28th, I said that's the example du jour. Why? Perhaps example of the month. Because that afternoon's LA, the final 5 minutes, if you missed it, I'm sorry. You go watch it because I'm not going to repeat it. I specifically said when I made the recording, I'm not repeating those critical last 5 minutes. It's the most important 5 minutes in a condensed session that you may have seen all the while on the channel. I'm not repeating them. So that is why you can't miss any single recording. And I know someone's going to miss it, and they're going to go ask the question. I'll be, well, I already answered. I'm not going to repeat it because it's a subject matter I don't want to cover. What is it regarding? Is it regarding someone's hairstyle? Is it regarding lobster fests and lobster shorts? You never know. Go watch it. Now, let's go back into what you need to do. Step 1, go on this video, subscribe. You make sure you subscribe right now. You're watching the number 3 most watched financial news channel, America, expanding to number 2. Because guess what we're doing? We are expanding dramatically. Have you seen the changes first? LA Live is now a 24/7 show. It's live around the clock with the feed updating every few hours. Number 2, have you jumped onto LALATE.com, the website that started it all nearly 20 years ago, repurposed with big money stories on the hour. And then LA2 and LA3 coming to this family of channels in just days. Number 1, subscribe. Number 2, go into this video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Become a member to get these incredible checks because the value of membership in this channel went through the roof overnight. If you don't know why, then you need to watch that afternoon show. It explains why membership on this channel is so important because this is the channel that's getting people money. Not Congress. I am. That's why you, as a family, need to inspire one another. Jump in the live chat right now and post your success stories, whether it's today or a month ago or a year ago. Post your success stories. Send me your success stories, because when you do, we inspire one another to do greatness and deliver greatness for this family. Invest in one another's livelihood, because we have a 2-year recession to go through. Next, go into this video, join the channel, and finally make sure you hit that bell at the front of this channel to make sure all your notifications are set to all on. What about that wonderful newsletter? Let's go through that newsletter together right now. That newsletter is delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that newsletter is so simple to follow. What do you need to do? Well, you just watch for it at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. Go down to that credible newsletter, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alerts. Watch the time zone. Here's the YouTube alert right here. If it comes by email, that's what it looks like. Title, for members only. Look at the time. It's 7 o'clock. There's the body. LALATE membership newsletter. See the 4 mailboxes? Go down past the guy with the surfboard to where it says View Posts. Click the button. It sends you right in, and you're ready to rock and roll. Get that incredible newsletter. Become a member. Get these checks. Get the worksheets. That's why this channel's working. And this why this family is working as well. The latest housing data came in today again, and it's consistent with what we've seen for 2 weeks. And what was it? It showed that housing prices are not going where they normally would go. Let's take a step back. First, we had housing data a week ago, miss. And this week, it's much the same once again. Housing is one of the most important industries of this market, because if the housing industry falls apart, then other parts of the economy don't do well at all. And what did we see for housing? It was last Monday, when the home builders' confidence numbers dropped to the lowest level, second biggest drop of a generation. Actually, not of a generation, 37 years, the entire time the history has been around. Number 2, the housing starts miss. Number Wednesday, the existing home sales were down. The data coming out today and yesterday were about home prices. And what do they show? They show generally that the home prices are still going up year to date, but the amount that they're going up has consistently gone down when you look at it month over month. So let's say you had a house that was $10 last year. It's certainly more than $10 this year. But when you look at how much it increased by April, it was a lot. And then how much it increased by May, less, June, less, and July, well, here we go. After the market closes today, we're going to have Apple, Amazon, Comcast, Harley-Davidson, Hershey, P&G, and others report corporate earnings. What are we going to see there? I fully expect, based upon what we've seen this week, that certain industries are going to continue to miss top and bottom revenue and net profits, because those industries are being hurt by inflation and recession more than others. Any industry which is driven by advertising really badly hurt. So we have the social media, Twitter, Facebook, Snap, miss, all 3 missed. Then we have technology like Microsoft, which is slightly ad dependent, missing as well. Jump over to pharmaceutical, jump over to healthcare, all doing really well. Jump over to travel and leisure. You all know that the second quarter was a big travel month, a huge travel month. You expect it to be big. So anyone that's travel and leisure or anything sort of along that well will likely beat. So I fully believe that Pfizer would beat after the close. Southwest should beat. Harley-Davidson, I believe, should beat. P&G, which is health, should beat. And then who do I think Hertz, I think, should absolutely beat, because, price of rent-a-cars are through the roof. Who do I think should miss? I think that Apple and Amazon may miss. I believe that Amazon will likely miss, because, of course, that is a mixture of retail. As Walmart started this big problem last week, you saw on this channel. And then what about a Merck? Beat, that's going to beat. MasterCard, well, Visa beat yesterday. Then that on Monday, MasterCard's likely going to beat. It's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Now, let's jump into tomorrow. Tomorrow, that PCEI is at 8:30 a.m. and the consumer confidence is at 10 a.m. And with that, let me give you my analysis of this economy tonight. It's a night like this that the American viewer really demand a lot of analysis because we all understand broadly what happened today, but you also sort of want to understand the analysis of what's going on. So let's go over the analysis now and that you understand broadly what's going on. Will inflation come down? Yes. Is it going to come down to 2% by the end of the year, as Jay Powell says it's going to do? No. I was the first person in February saying he's never going to get inflation down to 2% by the end of the year. And tonight, it's really quite different, the landscape of what analysts are saying. There's not a single analyst who now believes that Jay Powell is going to get inflation down to 2%. No one believes it anymore. Back in February, I was the first person to say he wasn't, and I was the only person who said it. Now they're all saying he's not. So that landscape has really changed. Is inflation going to come down from Jay Powell? No, I've never believed that inflation is going to come down from Jay Powell. Is there a trap brewing? You may have seen this quote earlier today on mornings and afternoons. There is a potential trap brewing. And what is a trap? The trap is where some analysts believe that Jay Powell will stop the interest rate spikes before you get into recession. I have to laugh because you know why I'm laughing if you saw this quote earlier today. The quote was on Wednesday, yesterday. Today, Thursday, we're in recession. So the quote is basically saying, will Jay Powell stop with those interest rate spikes before we go into recession? Well, obviously no, because you're in a recession tonight, and he has not stopped. Here was the quote from a bigwig at Morgan Stanley, Chief Equity Strategist and Chief Investment Officer Mike Wilson. The market's always rallied based upon the Fed stopping hikes of interest rates until the recession begins. But it's unlikely there's going to be a gap between time. The market is a bit stronger than you would have thought, the growth signals. But by the time of gap between the end of the Fed hiking interest rates and the recession is not going to have much of a gap. You're going to be caught in a trap. So what he basically says is that if you think Jay Powell is going to slow, and it's going to be a soft landing, not. It's going to be a hard landing. And if you believe that he's going to stop the spikes before you see the recession, no. Well, tonight we're in a recession. You may not see it yet. I've talked a lot about that. The recession may not manifest itself where you are, your town, your community, your business, your livelihood yet, but it will when that financial cliff hits. When is that financial cliff going to hit? And that brings me to the next commentary tonight, labor. Labor remains that one topic that makes me want to bring out the hot sauce and see if I can get smoke to come out of my nostrils, just like a dragon. Labor is just one of those stories that simply looks like a fairy tale or a fiction novel. When you have 164,000 jobless claims per week in the month of April, and now tonight you're at 260,000. Yeah, 140 to 260. Does that look good? Oh, it's a strong labor market. Say it with a straight face. Okay, it's a strong labor market. I can't do it. How do they do it? How do these people literally keep on saying that 260,000 new jobless claims is a strong labor market? Tonight, the look of the following is this. There is a collective feeling among analysts that the White House, let me be very specific, the President of the United States, when he addresses this economy, is sugarcoating. They actually said rose-colored glasses on a liberal broadcast today. They say he's using too much rose-colored glasses. As to Janet Yellen, they say she's being very delicate on her words. Delicate on her words is basically saying labor softening, labor weakening, labor pulling back, normalizing, labor getting hurt. That's how I say it. Labor getting hurt. That is what's going on with the White House. Let's jump over to the analysts. The analysts all this week, we all wondered what was going on in their minds when they said that the GDP number being released this morning was going to be a positive number. We all rolled our eyes saying, where are they getting this from? And I wondered where they got it from. They said the labor number coming this morning would be positive. It wasn't. It was negative. They said the Atlanta Fed GDP now was wrong. They were wrong. It was right. And it's part of what's going on with this strange microcosm of where people keep just saying things that simply make no sense. Like the bottom of the stock market has already arrived. I heard that this morning. One analyst saying, don't you wish you had bought in June because you may not see those levels again? Folks, stocks are actually down since the month of June, so I don't even know what that analyst is talking about. When you talk about housing, when they say that people are trying to get out of those homes if they bought them for a flipper and trying to make their profits, they're trying to get out right now. No, they've been trying to get out for 2 months, because if they're flipping, they're not going to wait for the mortgage industry to collapse, as it has with the biggest drop in 20 years of mortgage applications. That's housing data. So a lot of these analysts are doing peculiar analysis. Ultimately, my approach for you is the following. That the data is not particularly that difficult to analyze. You as a member, you as a subscriber on this channel have been really good in getting a sense of where to look at things. You can look at your price of eggs at the supermarket, your price of milk at the supermarket, and think to your mind, is that more than I paid a month ago? Is it the same or is it less? Jump in the live chat right now and tell me, has any of the milk or the eggs gone down or gone up? If you can gauge that, then you can gauge recession. You can gauge inflation. The biggest week of the summer has predicted to be one of the most predictable weeks of the summer. Why? Because everything I said was going to happen, everything that you thought was going to happen, has happened so far. What has happened so far in the biggest week of the summer? Your benefits are definitely going up, an enormous amount, approximately about $5,000, because inflation has not peaked. We didn't think inflation had peaked. We didn't think it was going to go down. We expected more bad housing data this week, and did we get it? Yes, and the week's not over. We expected unemployment numbers to surge higher across the board. And did they? Yes. Did they surge as high as expected? Exactly on the money. We expected corporate earnings to miss in some parts of the economy, but not at all. We expected that impact to be industry by industry, and it's really manifested itself. That where the beats are very big beats, they've been in the same industry, and where the misses have been very major misses have also been in the same industry. Ultimately, what I try to show you on this channel is not only the news, but also how for you to analyze the news and to predict the news as well. We all go buy some milk. We all buy some eggs. We all buy a pump of gas. We all see what's going on in the supermarket, how many checkers are when we go check out in stores. We talked about this no less than 2 months ago when viewers in the live chat said, I'm seeing less employees in the Walmart checkout stand. I'm seeing the price of eggs and milk going up. You saw the data before I could report it. That's how we work as a family. God bless you to all the wonderful new members who joined overnight. Join today and will join tomorrow as well. Over 100 per day. This is the channel that will always get you checks. Always focus on your money. Always focus on making sure you are on the right side of the equation. The numbers that came in yesterday showed that the credit card companies posted beats on top and bottom. Why? Because people who are not members of this channel are running up massive credit card debt. You can. I've been warning for a while to reduce the credit card debt, reduce the car loan debts, reduce anything that is adjustable rate debt, because Jay Powell is going to raise those rates. He did. I also warned you to be prepared for the financial cliff that's coming, because that financial cliff is around the corner. Whether you call it a trap, like the head of Morgan Stanley said, or whether you look at those international markets, which I haven't covered today, but I'll cover tomorrow, they are in big trouble, folks. The financial markets overseas are in big trouble, and if they're in big trouble, you know the trouble's coming here. Ultimately, the job of me and the job of you is to stay ahead of the curve, and that's why this channel works. We get the data right, we predict it right, and we can do this together as a family. We will get through this recession together, loving one another, helping one another, inspiring one another. Keep it positive, keep it motivated, keep it focused, and keep it here on LALATE. Go into this video, become a member, and tonight dedicate yourself some time to go get some more checks. Make sure you watch all the videos and join me throughout the night as the programming continues with Evening to LA every night at 5 o'clock, Strain and Stimulus at 7, Countdown at 6, Extra at 8, 9 o'clock is sunset. The programming continues tomorrow morning at early mornings at 4 a.m. and mornings at 9 as well. Become a member, and I'll see you throughout tomorrow as well. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Keep it informed, keep it focused. The biggest week that was is still not over. It's still continuing. And stay here with LALATE for more.